what you're bringing in is a different quality of fish, man, and also a lot more. So you want to nurture that. You want to learn how to build those relationships. Back again, you flip to that last page in my little book and you see some of the people that I'm hanging out with and spending time with. It's a different caliber than what you might meet at your local Chamber of Commerce, right? So you've got to remember that a lot of times your business success will depend on the pond that you are fishing in. Sometimes, it's interesting, people ask me, how did I get a chance to meet Oprah Winfrey and get to know her? It's interesting, a friend of mine brought her in to do a series of events through Canada and the US, so we've gotten to know them pretty good. But to get in on that cost me $3,000 a plate to sit at the same table with her. Was it worth the investment?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely it was. Right? So sometimes, here's an interesting thought. I'll just share this as well. When I was first starting investing, I had a very little amount of money. I didn't have a whole lot of money. In fact, I think my first investment was $1,500, right? And I was all nervous about it. I was going to lose it, right? What are my chances of losing this? And all this kind of stuff. How much does it cost to get involved? What's the minimum? And I'd ask all these questions. And I had one of my friends who's a big investment guy. He took me aside and he says, "You're an idiot." And I said, "What?" "You're an idiot and you're embarrassing me." I said, "Okay, well, what's this?" He goes, "That's not the question you should ask." He said, "Never ask how much something costs. Ask, how much will it make me?" Because if something costs $10,000 and you lose it all, you lost $10,000. If it costs $5 million and you make 15, did it really cost anything at all? So sometimes it's better to do it right than lose your money. Okay? Let's flip to the next page here. How are we doing for time, by the way? 'Cause I want to give you guys value, but I don't want to run the clock.
You got 70.
Good. Okay, so this is opportunities. What I mean by that is you've got to learn how to recognize them and take advantage of them. That's a huge thing. So many of us know where we want to be, but when the opportunity comes along, we're either not prepared or we're not, ready to engage. We don't recognize it. I have a lot of people often ask me, "Doug, where can I find a good investment?" And you know what? That's two questions. The where is the geography, right? But the good investment's the bigger question because most people don't know what it is. What's a good investment for you? I know we were chatting before, you do real estate investment. For some people, that may not be where they want to go. I know that you're doing angel investing and investing in companies. For some people, that may not be a good fit. So what's a good investment? Well, let's talk about what your risk threshold is, the things that you want to be involved in, the kind of work you want to do. There's so many factors, but if you haven't thought it out beforehand, you'll never recognize a good investment when it comes along, and you also won't recognize who you need to meet, who can introduce you to those opportunities. So that's a very, very important element, right? The next one, I call it organization, but it could very well be called balance. The truth of it is, until you are organized, you cannot build on it. So if your life is a matter of chaos, in fact, here's a great study, and I do this, and I'm warning you right now, if you attend one of my other seminars, we might do this. Sometimes I ask for a volunteer to take me out to their car, and I can tell them what kind of business that they are capable of running, just by looking about how they keep their car.
Amen.
Yeah.
I just have a bike.
Always.
Yeah, and if you got a bike, even better, right? And don't worry, we'll make you pop the trunk too. Just kidding. But in all seriousness, if you can't organize it, you cannot have it built upon. Organization is important, and if you want balance, it starts with organizing your own life before looking for it outside your life. A lot of people today have talked about how many pillars of success are. I've heard anywhere from 3 to 6. That's cool, I endorse those, I'm not discounting them, but I found 5. I believe that you need to become balanced in not how much, but how you feel about your abundance, your relationships, your health, yourself, or your self-esteem, confidence, and your spirituality. Those are the 5 pillars of success. And if you feel crappy about your abundance, well, that means you need to find more. If you feel crappy about your relationship, same thing. But that doesn't mean it needs to be ideal. For example, there was somebody that I had in my research group that was a burn victim, paralyzed, and in a wheelchair, and now terminally ill. How did they feel about their health? They were the most excited, vibrant person that you've ever met. So it's not being the guy that works out at the gym every day, drinking the protein shakes, my health is awesome. It's got very little to do with it. It's all about internally how you perceive and create that lens that lets you look at
What are
it.
those 5 again?
Abundance, relationships, health, self, and spirituality. And if you ever want to know where someone's lacking, say, what are your goals? And they say, I got to make a bunch of money. They're having problems with abundance. If it's, I got to rescue my relationship, my wife's going to leave me, it's relationships. If it's health, I got to swing this around, it's health. And of course, self and spirituality, you see it in their self-esteem or their connection to things of the spirit. We talk about giving and contribution, that's also there too, right? Okay. Hope we don't run out of time.
We'll make time.
Yeah. Well, if not, remember, I'm speaking again at 4:30, but I'm going to talk to you guys about how to make some money. By the way, are you finding any of this useful?
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. You find this useful for yourself? Okay. So this one I think is absolutely essential. See, most people, you hear this idea of working in your business, right? And on your business. You hear these, I want to get out of my business so I can work on it. You know what? My goal is not to have you work in or on your business, but to let your business work on you. It should carry you. Your business should carry you, not the other way around. So this one is, you've got to learn how to create wealth, and sometimes even beyond your business. Now, I don't know if anybody fits into this category. Greg, you probably do. Evan, I'm sure you do, and I'm sure you do as well, Dana. But one of the things that I strove to do, by the way, people ask me, Doug, how did you do your first $1.6 million as a speaker? And by the way, nobody, even Tony Robbins, has ever been able to do that. Well, the whole secret is I didn't do it just speaking. I started investing. And now what happens is I don't care if I make a dime today. I don't care if I make a dime next month. My paycheck's covered every single month, basically, for the rest of my life. And it's not all tied up in either stocks or real estate, or I've got a very diverse portfolio. So what you need to do is when you're making money and cash flow, you've got to find a way to create cash flow out of it. You've got to find a way to build something so that you don't have to work. And if one day your business has a really hard time, say the recession hits again or something, and people aren't hiring you, you've got to be in stable enough wealth positions that it's cool, yeah, maybe you lost a little bit of money, but it's not going to affect your lifestyle. So you've always got to be on a mission to create wealth beyond the work that you're putting in. Okay? Number 8, growth strategies and systems. I'm just going to put S. And what I'm talking about there is if you did take the time off and walked away from your business, is there a strategy or system in place where it would either operate without you or you could plug someone else to do the job for you? Right? What if you want to one day sell your company? If you don't have a system in place, you can't do it. Let me tell you a really interesting story. When I was in high school, those t-shirts, remember No Fear? Remember that was out? That was a huge thing, No Fear. Well, one of the things that I'm very passionate about was martial arts. In fact, I was a competition martial arts guy for years. I did Goju Kai, Shotokan, Wing Chun, Aikido, all these martial arts. I love them. And so I came up with the t-shirt brand name myself. It's called Intensity, in a world where substitutes just don't cut it. And I started providing t-shirts to all the martial art tournaments in the area. Well, one day I had this guy come up to me and say, I'd love to buy your company from you. How much do you want for it? And so I said, well, let me get back to you. I got to talk to some friends and blah, blah, blah. And I came back to him and I told him a number. And so he started looking at my company. But he found that the only system I had in place was me. And I would draw the designs, and that was how the t-shirts were made. So other than buying just the name Intensity, which I didn't have trademarked at the time either, by the way, I had really nothing. And so I lost that opportunity, even in my teens, to make a heck of a lot of money. So you got to have those systems in place so you can step away if the opportunities come, or put someone in to do it on your behalf. So you can do what was Nadine talking about, going to tour the country and let somebody else do your business. If you don't have a system, you can't do it, because you're going to be on the phone every day telling them what to do. And you don't need to have that hassle, right? And again, there's a $200,000 way to do that, and there's a $1 million way. Next, really important, is innovation. You've got to become an innovator. You know what's interesting? Sometimes our history books get it right. Sometimes they miss the mark. One individual they have severely missed the mark with, but kudos to him, and that's Thomas Edison. We call him the greatest inventor of all time, right? But did you realize that the light bulb had a patent before he came along to it? So did the motion picture camera. So did the dictaphone. So did all these things. He actually took those and he innovated them. Was Facebook the first social media? No. Right? Here's a quote that I found in Wired the other day. I thought it was really neat. They took one of the Apple guys, they interviewed him, they said, what does the future look like? You know what his answer was? 35% of us are already there, the rest of you will catch up in 2 years. I thought, holy crap, but that's kind of true. If you want to be cutting edge, if you want to be a leader in your industry, if you want to have that monopoly, you've got to be the one setting the pace. I was one time sitting with Frank McGuire, who kind of became a grandpa to me. He was one of the founders of FedEx.